Okay, are these slides visible? Anybody can respond?
Sir, yes.
Okay. So when there is any disruption, please call me or so that I will know it. Okay, now let's start. So yesterday we have last class we have discussed about intermediate COCOMO and complete COCOMO or detailed COCOMO. So these are all extensions of COCOMO 81. In 81, Boehm has developed first this basic COCOMO. Then, in order to get more accurate estimations, he has extended to the basic COCOMO to intermediate COCOMO and complete COCOMO. Okay. Today we will discuss still another important advancement over this COCOMO 81. Let's see first some of the drawbacks of COCOMO 81. What are the major drawbacks, limitations of COCOMO 81, and why there is a need to develop another advanced model. Since the time that the COCOMO estimation model, that means the basic COCOMO estimation model was proposed in the early 1980s, maybe 1981, since then the software development paradigm as well as the characteristics of development projects have undergone a sea change, large change. Since 1980 till this 2000, you see there's a vast change in the software development paradigm. New policies have come, new technologies have come, and so the present day software projects, these are very much larger in size in comparison to the softwares developed in 1980s. And the reuse of existing software to develop new products has become pervasive. Previously, the concept of reuse was not so much important. But nowadays, since you are in the area of or in the era of component-based software development, we are trying to reuse the previous components in these recent projects. We are first looking whenever any job is coming or project is coming, we are seeing that whether how much it is similar to the previous projects, what components are similar. Those components we borrow from the previous projects, we do little bit customization and use it in the existing software. Okay, so this concept of reuse is heavily used nowadays, which was not there in the previous days. For example, this I have already told you regarding this component-based development. So what is there already in the previous projects? What are the components? And now in this present component or present software, what components are similar? We are trying to directly review the existing or the previous components in the existing project. Similarly, now previously this service-oriented architecture, service, those things were not available at that time. But nowadays, these things have become very much popular. Service-oriented architecture, service as a software as a service, etc. They have become very much popular. New lifecycle models and development paradigms are being deployed for web-based and component-based software. Previously, people are only using this waterfall model or prototype model or like that. But nowadays, you see many people they are using this RAD, Rapid Application Development Model. Most of the developers they are using agile methodology, and examples of agile like Scrum and this extreme programming, etc., which are not available in 1980s. So during 1980s, rarely any program was interactive and graphical user interfaces were almost non-existent. Almost no programs they are not having any good interfaces. But nowadays, you see, we have to pay equal amount of effort for designing the GUI, because how much software, how much good your software may be, if it is having a very poor, very ill-designed graphical user interface, nobody will be attracted to your organization. So nowadays, people are giving more emphasis on the GUI part. And almost all the programs you see nowadays interactive. Everything will come in the what displays in the screen. You have to only just ask. It will ask, enter your this, enter your details like this. So everything is interactive. But in 1980s, the programs are not interactive. You have to only enter the inputs, and no interface was used. No interfaces were used. But in nowadays, people are using many interfaces, and these the programs are interactive and like that. So the traditional basic COCOMO may not be suitable for these what recent days software projects. On the other hand, the present day software products are highly interactive, they support elaborate GUIs, graphical user interfaces. Very often what happens, the effort spent on developing the GUI part is often almost the same as or as much as the effort spent on developing the actual functionality of the software. How much effort you are giving for developing the actual functionality, almost the same amount of effort people are giving for the GUI in order to make the software much more attractive. Okay, so that's why the traditional basic COCOMO model may not be very much suitable here. So in order to make this COCOMO model suitable in the present scenario, in the changed scenario, Boehm has proposed COCOMO 2 in the year of 1995. So basic COCOMO or intermediate COCOMO, etc., they are proposed in 1981. At that time, those features I have just told, reusability, component-based software, SOA, SAS, etc., GUI, interactive, those things almost not used. They were not used in the early days, 1980s. So in order to, but nowadays these things are heavily used. So in order to make the COCOMO model more suitable in the changed scenario, in the present scenario, Boehm has proposed COCOMO 2 in the year 1995. So somewhere you see in some of the books or the papers, you will see Roman II, or somewhere you will see the literal 2. Don't confuse. They represent the same thing. That's why I have put both the things here. COCOMO 2 provides 3 models to arrive at increasingly accurate cost estimation. So if you can use COCOMO 2, it is expected that you will arrive at increasingly more accurate cost estimations. So this COCOMO 2 provides 3 models. Okay, on the COCOMO 2 we'll see 3 models. Actually, one is extra for usability. So we'll see 4 models. So COCOMO 2 provides 4 models to arrive at increasingly accurate cost estimations. These can be used to estimate project cost at different phases of the software development. Okay, so these 4 models, they can be used to estimate the project effort, cost, and schedule at different phases of the software development. Okay, you know the different phases are like requirement analysis, design, coding, testing, etc. So these 3-4 models, they can be used to estimate the project cost at different phases of the software product. As the project progresses, these models, okay, these COCOMO 2 models, they can be applied at the different stages of the same project. Might be one stage is requirement analysis and specification stage, one is coding stage, sorry, one is next design stage, then coding stage, integration and system testing phase, like that. So as the project progresses, these models can be applied at the different stages of the same project. Now quickly let's see what are the major objectives of COCOMO 2. The major objectives of COCOMO 2 are as follows. The first objective is to develop a software cost and schedule estimation. So basically, we'll use COCOMO 2 to develop a software cost and schedule estimation model tuned to the life cycle practices of the 90s and 2000s. So this model, this model that will develop, it will be tuned to the life cycle practices of the recent softwares, maybe in this 1990s and 2000s. So such practices such as agile programming practices, rapid application development prototypes, etc. So extreme programming, unified development processes. So in order to fit to the current life cycle practices, COCOMO 2 will be used to develop a software cost and schedule estimation model. Another objective is to develop software cost database and tool support capabilities for continuous model improvement. So we'll see about Six Sigma somewhat toward the end. There we will see the continuous improvement, continuous process improvement. So here another objective of COCOMO 2 is this model can be used to develop a software cost database and tool support capabilities. How you can use more and more tools, more and more case tools. Why? For continuously improving the model. So these are the 2 objectives of COCOMO 2. So this was taken from an article like cost models for future software lifecycle processes, COCOMO 2.0. It was published at that time, I think, by Boehm in Annals of Software Engineering in 1995. Okay. Now let's see what are the COCOMO 2 models will say. So COCOMO 2 incorporates a range of submodels in order to produce increasingly more accurate estimates for cost, time, and schedule and this effort. Now let's see what are the submodels. Those are available in COCOMO 2. The submodels in COCOMO 2 are the following. First is application composition model. then early design model, then reuse model, and then post architecture model. Okay. So this model is used for estimation when the software is composed from existing parts. When you are having some already existing parts, the menus, the tables, the forms, etc. there, and this you have to develop a software by composing the existing parts. So if this is the case, go for application composition model. So this is used when the software is composed from the existing parts. Early design model, as its name suggests, early design means before design. Before design is what? Requirement analysis. You know, in the waterfall model, before design which phase? Requirement analysis specification phase. So early design model is used when the requirements are available, but you have not started the design process. Then you can go for early design model. Reuse model, this model can be used to estimate this cost, time, etc. So this can be used to compute the effort of integrating reusable components. So when from the previous projects there are components, you find that they can be reused in the recent project, you can go for using reuse model. So reuse model can be used to compute the effort of integrating the reusable components in order to get maybe some components of this existing software. Post architecture model, as its name suggests, architecture is coming when? In the design phase. So this model will be normally used after design phase. So this model is used once the system architecture has been designed and more information about the system is available. I hope Professor Rath is teaching you software architecture. So post architecture model, this can be used for estimation once the design is over. That means once the system architecture has been designed and more information about the system is available. So in this we have seen there are 4 submodels in COCOMO 2, which model can be used in which circumstances, that also I have discussed here. Now let's just quickly say, I have already told you which model will be used when, like application composition model, when it can be used. I have already written here. Application composition model can be used for systems developed using dynamic languages, database programming, etc. So this application, so I have already told you, application composition model can be used when the software is composed from where? From the existing parts. So normally this is used for systems developed using dynamic languages, database programming, etc. And it is based on what? It is based on number of application points. What is application point? Same as object point. I have already told you function point, feature point, and last one is object point. Please recall 2-3 days before. So this application composition model is based on the number of application points or the number of object points. So various objects may be your menus, forms, tables, they can be treated as the objects that I have already told you in that class. Early design model, as its name suggests, it is used for the initial effort estimation. Okay, it is used for the initial effort estimation based on the system requirements and design options. So before the design, what are there? Before the architecture, so system based on the system requirements. So here the initial effort estimation is based on system requirements and design options, and it is based on what? It is based on the number of function points. You have to calculate the number of function points, and based on the number of function points, you can use this early design model. Reuse model. Reuse model. It can be used for what? It can be used for estimate the effort. It can be used for estimating the effort to integrate the reusable components or automatically generate the code. So how much effort will be required to integrate the reusable components or to automatically generate the code? For knowing or for estimating the effort required, you can use reuse model. This is based on the number of lines of code reused or generated. Okay, how many number of lines of code has been reused or generated? Based on that, you can use reuse model. So reuse model is based on the number of lines of code LOC reused or generated. Final one is post architecture model. As its name suggests, it can be used only when the software architecture is designed and more information is available. So post architecture model is used for the development effort which is based on the system design specification. Okay, it is used for the development. It is used for computing or estimating the development effort based on the system design specification. That's why post architecture. When the system design specification is ready, when the software architecture is ready, then you can use post architecture model. It is based on what? It is based on the number of lines of source code. Okay, it is based on the total number of lines of source code. You have to first know the numbers of lines of source code. Based on that, you can compute the post architecture. You can use the post architecture model. So post architecture model is based on the number of LOC or lines of source code. Now we'll see details of the COCOMO 2. Let's see one of the fundamental difference between COCOMO 81 and COCOMO 2. In COCOMO 81, the term that was used for estimation is DSI. What are DSI? It stands for Delivered Source Instructions. But in COCOMO 2, they use the term SLOC. The whole computation is based on SLOC. What is SLOC? Source lines of code. Now let us try to find out whether these are exactly similar or almost similar, and a few minor differences are there. Let's see. The original COCOMO 81 model was defined in terms of delivered source instructions, which are very similar to SLOC. Okay. The original COCOMO 81 model, it was defined in terms of what? It was defined in terms of DSI. And this DSI is very much similar to the SLOC. But there is a difference. What is the difference? The major difference between DSI and SLOC is that a single source line of code may be several physical lines. Okay, you may take a single source of line, but that may be consisted of several physical lines, or you can say that several delivered source instructions. Let's take a small example. For example, suppose you have used an if then else statement. So both the then part as well as the else part in the if then else statement, it would be counted as only one SLOC, but it might be counted as several DSIs. How many then part, how many else part, etc. Like it's a ladder, if then else ladder. So how many else parts are there? Accordingly, the DSI will vary. So in this statement, if then else statement, it would be counted as only one SLOC, but might be counted as several DSIs. Okay, this is the difference between DSI and SLOC. COCOMO 81 uses DSI, COCOMO 2 uses SLOC. Okay. Now let's see what is the core model, which is applicable to almost all the four submodels. The core model in COCOMO 2 is defined as like this. It computes the effort, it estimates the effort. Normally, you know, effort is expressed in terms of PM person month. This is equal to how much? A into size to the power some SF stands for scaling factor, EM1, EM2, EM3. See, very much similar to our basic COCOMO, or sorry, the intermediate COCOMO. There also we are using a constant A, and then size to the power this the K, and EM2 the multipliers or cost drivers also we are using in the intermediate COCOMO. So almost similar. Only here the values of the constants will be vary. The values of EM1, EM2 they will vary. That we'll see. Otherwise, the basic form of the equation of the basic COCOMO or intermediate. So the core model is expressed effort or person month is equal to A into psi to the power SF into M1, M2, M3 like this, where PM stands for the effort in person months. A is a constant whose value is found to be 2.94 from several experiments. Size is the number of thousands of source lines of code, not DSI. It is the number of thousands of source lines of code. SF is known as the scaling factor. EM is a factor known as an effort multiplier. Just like as cost drivers we have seen in intermediate COCOMO. So EM is an effort multiplier. So this is the core model. That effort is estimated as some constant A into psi to the power SF into multiplication of the effort multipliers. Okay. So this core model will be almost used at the several submodels, maybe with slight or minor modifications. We'll see. We'll start with the first model, that is the application composition model. This is the first subcomponent, first submodel of COCOMO 2. This model is applicable to prototyping projects and projects where there is extensive reuse. Okay, so this model you can use for estimating the effort, etc. for the prototyping projects and projects where there is extensive reuse. This model is based on standard estimates of developer productivity in terms of an application point per month. Okay, so this model is based on the standard estimates of what? Of the developer productivity in terms of application points per month. I have already told you this model is based on application points, isn't it? This is the application composition model is based on the application points. Application points are otherwise known as object points. So it is based on the standard estimates of developer productivity in terms of application points or object points per month. What do you mean by application points or object points here? I have already told you object points earlier. Only here I am using a new name or the synonym for this. This is application point. Application points are computed using objects such as screens, reports, modules, etc. So when you are saying application points, roughly they are same as the object points. And here object, I have already told you, objects points, they do not come what, there is no relationship of the objects in object-oriented programming. No, objects means the screens, reports, tables, modules, components, etc. You have to count them. So application points are computed using objects such as screens, reports, modules, components, etc. This model also takes into account the case tool use. So what are the case tools we are using for requirement specification, for design like RSA, rational rows, visual paradigm, agile, etc. Similarly, what tools are using for maybe testing like JMeter, Jabuti, and RFT, etc. So it takes into account the case tools they will be used. The formula to compute the effort using application composition model is given as follows. So effort is expressed in terms of PM. PM stands for person month is equal to NAP, where NAP is the number of application points into 1 minus percentage reuse by 100. So what percentage you have? There are 100 components. You are using 40 components. So this is the percentage of reuse. So 1 minus percentage of reuse by 100 into prod. Prod stands for the productivity. What is the formula for productivity? I have already given you earlier. So in this way, using application composition model, we can compute PM. This model is very much suitable for software which will be built around graphical user interface and modern GUI builder tools. Okay, so this model is very much applicable, very much suitable for software built around graphical user interfaces and modern GUI builder tools. It uses the object points as a size metric. So this model uses what? Object points or your application points as a size metric. Here there is an extension of function points. So I have already told you object points. So here maybe because you have seen the drawbacks of function point, that's why you have gone for the object points. So I have already told you that application composition model, it uses the object points as the size metric. So these object points may be considered as extension of function points. And in object points, what we are counting? We have to count. We have to count the number of screens, number of reports, number of modules. They are weighted by a 3-level factor. So that means how many screens are there? Out of that, how many screens are simple? How many screens are medium? How many screens are difficult? Similarly, how many reports are there? Out of them, how many are simple? How many are medium? How many are difficult? So how many tables are there? Out of these tables, how many are simple? How many are medium? How many of them are difficult? How many modules you have to develop? Out of that, how many modules are very simple, like IO kind of modules? How many of them are medium, and how many of them are very much difficult to develop? So all these objects such as screens, reports, and modules, they are weighted, they are ranked by a 3-level factor, maybe simple, medium, difficult. You can give different values for simple, medium, and difficult. We'll see what values are given. So the application points, they are used with languages such as database programming language and scripting languages. I have already told you earlier that these application points, they are used with languages such as database programming languages or dynamic programming languages or scripting languages. Here the number of application points is a weighted estimate of the number of separate screens that are displayed. Okay, so let's say the number of application points is a weighted estimate of what? Is a weighted estimate of the number of separate screens. Those are the number of reports that are produced, number of modules. Okay, so three important things I have told here. The number of application points is unweighted or is a weighted estimate of three things: number of separate screens, number of reports, and number of modules. Let's see what do you mean by number of separate screens that are displayed. Here, as I have already told you, you will use a 3-point scale: simple, medium, and difficult or complex. So you can assign or you can consider as follows. Simple screens may be counted as one object point. Then medium or moderately complex screens can be counted as 2, and very complex screens they can be counted as 3 object points. I have already told you, you have to take a 3-point scale: simple, medium, or difficult. And here I am saying how to simple, because I want to quantify the number of object points. We have to quantify. If it is simple screen, consider as 1 object point. If it is average or medium or moderately complex screen, count is as object count may be 2, and if it is a very complex screen, then the object count will be 3. The object point will be 3. Similarly, number of reports that are produced, how will rank them? For simple kind of reports, you can consider as 2 object points. For moderately complex reports, you can consider as 5 object points. And for reports which are very much difficult to produce, very much difficult to generate, you can consider them as, you can count them as 8 object points. Similarly, number of modules, the number of modules in languages such as C++, Java, etc., that must be developed to supplement the database. You are having a database, but you have to write this front end and back end. So the number of modules in languages such as Java or C++ that must be developed to supplement the database programming code. We call them as number of modules. Okay. So here number of modules means as follows: the number of modules in different languages such as Java or C++ that must be developed to supplement what? To supplement the database programming code. Each of these modules count as 10 object points. So if you are using very high level languages like Java, C++, etc., each of these modules will be counted as 10 object points. So these are the rules we have given, how you can count the different types of application points or object points. The different types of application points or object points are screens, reports, modules, etc. How you can use the 3-point scale, that also we have explained through examples. Please refer your book for details. Here I have taken, so another thing was there. See, what was the formula? Number of application points minus into 1 minus percentage of reuse by 100 divided by productivity. For finding the number of application points, I have given these 3 rules. This is for number of application points. Then 1 minus reuse by a percentage, you have to decide from past, how many modules from past projects, how many modules you want to reuse. Find out the percentage. 1 minus percentage by percentage of reuse by 100 divided by what? Productivity. How the productivity given? Productivity formula I have already told you earlier. Here a table we have given here. You can see the application point productivity can be computed as follows. 2 important things we have found out: the developer's experience and capability, and the ICSE maturity and capability. So based on this, okay, developer's experience and capability, then ICSE maturity and capability. Then if these 2 things are given to you, you can easily find out the productivity, which is defined as number of application points per month. So if developers experience and capability is very low, the ICSE maturity and capability is very low, the productivity may be counted as 4. If developers experience and capability is low, ICSE maturity and capability is also low, then the productivity will be counted as 7. If both are nominal, productivity is counted as 13. Both are high, it is 25. If both are very high, then the productivity is considered to be 50. Okay. So in this way, you can find out the application productivity. Now, if you want to compute the person month, directly put the values here. Find out the total number of application points. Find out how many modules you can reuse. Productive for productive, use that table, and accordingly by putting these values you can get the person month, or you can get the effort in person month. Okay. So this is how you can use this first one, application point method. Now, okay. And if you see the previous formula, the core formula, what I have told here, one factor is there called as SF. What is SF? It is the scale factor. So now let's look at how you can find out the scale factors, because in this next model, early design model will heavily use this scale factor. An important factor contributing to a project's duration and cost is the scale factor. This scale factor, it will determine the exponent used in the effort equation, because this is the exponent part, so it will determine the exponent used in the effort estimation. Scale drivers have replaced the development modes of COCOMO 81. In COCOMO 81 or basic COCOMO, we have seen three development modes: organic, semi-detached, and embedded. But in this formula, in COCOMO 2, they are using scale drivers, and these scale drivers, they have replaced the different development modes of COCOMO 81. Let's see what are the scale drivers. In COCOMO 2, 5 scale drivers are used. They are like precedentedness, development flexibility, architecture or risk resolution, team cohesion, and process maturity. So these are the 5 scale drivers. They will be used as exponents or computing the exponent part in COCOMO 2. So now we'll go to the early design model. The second model, I have already told you this model can be used when the requirement specification is ready, but design has not started. That's why it is early design, before the design. These two equations for effort and schedule, they can also be used for the post architecture model. Only minor modifications I will say. Otherwise, this is the basic equation that will be also used in the post architecture model. So how you will compute effort in early design model? It will be computed as some constant into. So previously we are calling as effort multipliers. In this early design model, they are the term is environment multipliers, but almost the meaning is same. The same what multipliers they will be used. So effort A is equal to environment multipliers. Okay, A into the different multipliers. Here we will call them as environment into size to the power the exponent part, the scaling factor, size to the power process scale factors. Here environment means what? Because here we are writing environment multipliers. The environment could be due to product, could be due to platform, could be due to people, could be due to project factors. Size mainly here we have to use reuse and the volatility effects. That means if the customer is changing the requirements frequently, how it will affect the effort. So size also takes into account the usability and volatility effects. These process scale factors. In process scale factors, these are the exponent parts. What factors are considered here? In COCOMO 2, for the scaling factors or for these process scale factors or for the exponent portions, these factors are used, like what are the constraints applicable to the system, the risk or the architecture, the team, and the maturity factors. They are considered for these process scale factors. Okay, they are considered as the process scale factors. Here also I have given a little bit, almost similar to this, isn't it? Here, these are the scale drivers. Scale driver means exponents. So like see, team, process maturity, etc. They are here. Team, process maturity, then risk, constraints. Risk is also there. Precedentedness means this constraints, and one more we have taken development flexibility. So almost the same. Don't confuse. These are the 5 scale factors. And just rewritten, so process considers these factors. So once effort is found out, you can easily find out the schedule. In COCOMO 2, the schedule is computed like this. Again, multipliers into effort to the power the scale factors. I have already given you the scale factors here, 5 scale factors or scale drivers. Okay, so These two equations will be used for computing the effort and schedule in early design model, which is coming under COCOMO 2. These two equations also will be used for the last model, that is the post architecture model with minor modifications, we'll say. So actually here in this here you'll see you will use how many multipliers. I'll see actually 7 multipliers are used. I will give you the list of 7 multipliers. So in early design model you will use 7 multipliers. Actually these are the environment. Under each there are some 1, 2 like that 7. I will show you the 7 environment multipliers. Now let's first see here. One of the important thing is this thing. Here one of the important things is the process scale factor. How to compute this exponent part, the process scale factors. So let's see the approach for that. COCOMO 2 scaling exponent approach. Okay, how to find out the exponent part. Now, normally the nominal person month is expressed by using what we have seen also in intermediate COCOMO. The nominal person months is calculated as some constant A into the photo multipliers into size to the power B. So B is calculated in COCOMO 2 in early design model. B is calculated as using using this formula. B is equal to 0.91 plus 0.01 into summation of the scale factor ratings. So 0.91, 0.01 already they are constants. So the scale factor ratings we have to find out. So how many scale factors we have seen? I have just told you how many, 5 scale factors. So for the 5 scale factors, you have to, so these are the 5 scale factors I have written, and each scale factor having 6 ratings, just like low, very low, high, etc. So that we have to, I will give in a table. So in this equation, B is equal to 0.91 plus 0.01 into summation of scale factor ratings. There are so here B ranges from 0.91 to 1.23, because if this value is 0, then the minimum is 0.91 and it may go up to 1.23 depending on the values of the rates of the scale factors. So there are 5 scale factors which are given here. These are the course, precedentedness, press, and the development flexibility flex, architecture or risk resolution, RESL, team cohesion team, and the process maturity is PMFT, and this process maturity was derived from SCI CMM. So you know that SCI CMM, those who have studied software engineering, you must have studied the different quality standards such as ISO, SCI CMM, PSP, personal software process, and Six Sigma, etc. So that is coming under this process maturity level. Actually, that is known as process maturity level. So that has come from SCI CMM. CMM stands for, SCI stands for Software Engineering Institute. CMM stands for Capability Maturity Model. So if time will permit, we will discuss towards the end about the quality management. In that, if you recall that in SCI CMM, actually there are some key factors, KPIs. Every for every level, or for every level there are some KPIs. We will not discuss right now. We'll see later on. So here I want to say that in this early design model in COCOMO 2, 5 scale factors are used for computing the exponent part. Each scale factor is rated with a scale from maybe part 0 to 6 or like that. Let's see how they are, what are the values, or what are the rates, what are the weights they have been assigned to these scale factors. Before giving you the values or the possible values in the range 0 to 6, let's, or say whatever, I think it is 0 to 6. Let's first define them. You must know the meanings, then you can find the values. Based on 5 factors which appear to be particularly sensitive to system size, the scale factors are developed. The first scale factor is precedentedness. It is defined as the degree to which there are past examples that can be consulted. So if you have already developed similar kind of examples of projects, what is the degree to which there are past examples that can be consulted? This is known as precedentedness. Development flexibility, this is defined as the degree of the flexibility which exists when implementing the project. If you are implementing the project, how much flexible you are having? What is the degree of flexibility? That means the other one I was saying, constraint, please see. I think one I have told somewhere constraints, where I have told, yes, constraints. Constraints, so constraints means here we have to say, what do you mean by, what is the degree of flexibility? Whether any tight constraints are there or it is flexible. Degree of flexibility that exists when implementing the project. Similarly, architecture or risk resolution, what is the degree of uncertainty about the requirements? Risk means what? Uncertainty. So what is the degree of uncertainty about the requirements? Those are called as architecture or risk resolution. Team cohesion, what is the cohesion among your team members? How they are cohesive, how they are working together, what is the interaction between them? I hope you have known cohesion and coupling. So cohesion should be what? Tight. So the interaction among the team members should be tight. So what is the cohesion among the team members? Accordingly, you can give some value. Process capability or process capability maturity or process maturity. This could be assessed by CMMI. So for that, we have to know this capability maturity model, integrated model. So please, this you can know if those who have studied the CICMM, this process capability maturity model. Towards the end, I will discuss. So this is one of the scaling factor, process maturity, which is derived from CMM model, capability maturity model, integrated model. Now let's see what could be the possible values. I have already told you they are rated in a 6 rating levels. The 5 scale factors, they are evaluated using 6 rating levels each. What are the 6 rating levels? Very low, low, nominal or moderate, high, very high, and extra high. So scaling factors are what? 5 we have seen: precedentedness, flexibility, the risks, and this team cohesion, and PMAT, process maturity. So these tables are given like if precedent is very low, that means it's thoroughly unprecedented. No similar examples are there. Low, largely unprecedented, and like this. Okay, please try to understand that this is very simple. You please read yourself. PMAT, as I have already told you, process maturity. This is taken from the capability maturity model. I have already told you in capability maturity model, for every level there are 5 levels. For every level there are some KPIs, key process areas. KPI stands for key process areas. So the process maturity, it is calculated as the weighted sum of 18 key process area achievement levels. Okay. These are the values. These are in terms of subjective. Very low, low, nominal, high, very high, extra high. The meanings are written here. These are the various COCOMO 2 scale factor values. These are the numeric values you can give. So you can see that precedent is very low, means it is 6.20. Very high means 1.20, and extra high, those are set to deliberately 0. So similarly, for other drivers or for other multipliers, the values are given numerically. These values you may just look at. If in examination it will come, I will try to give this table because it will be difficult to remember. Okay. Otherwise, at least you should try to remember the nominal values. For every case, the moderate value or the medium value or the average value or the nominal value, please remember. Others you may not remember. You can the table may be given. Okay, so these are the scale factor values. Now we'll take up one example to know how the usage of scale factor can be known. Now, suppose a software development team, it is developing an application. It is very much similar to the previous ones. It has already developed. Okay, a software development team is developing an application, and this application is very much similar to previous ones it has developed. A very precise software engineering document lays down very strict requirements. So the requirements is very strict. It is given that or you have to, by using your own knowledge or experience, you can rate it as precedence is very high. So what is the score for high? Precedentness high. Very high is how much? 1.24. That means, so what do you mean? So many similar components are there, they can be reused. So because I have already told you, definition of precedentness means what? Degree to which there are past examples that can be consulted. That means many more past similar types of examples are there. You can take their help. These past examples can be consulted. So for very high precedentness is 1.24. So precision, our precedentiness value is 1.24. If the flexibility is very low, and for flexibility very low, what is the value? Very low is 5.07. So this is 5.07. The good news is that requirements are unlikely to change. That means the requirements are not so much volatile. No, they will not change very frequently. So there is risk will be very less. Otherwise, you can say that risk is high. So for risk high is what? First of all, risk. What do you mean by this? Degree of uncertainty of the requirements. What is saying? The requirements will not change frequently. That means this is a good news. And what is the risk here? High means what? Risk you see mostly about 90%. And that means they will not change. They will remain same. So very high. So what is the value for risk? For very high is how much? 1.41. It is very high or high? What is saying? It is it is high. Sorry, it is high. For high, what is value? 2.83. So risk is high, and I am going in this way. See, if it is very low, that means what? We can say that it is. Please remember, these are used for exponent part. Very low means the requirements will change frequently, and as you go over, zero means the requirement does not change. That's why it is zero. Very high means it will change few. Again, high means little bit more. Nominal means it is moderate. Low, and in high case means the requirements will be changing frequently. That's why a very high value is given 7.07. And as you go towards right, the requirements will change very less. Zero means they will not change at all. And like this is the scale for zero. What it is? That value is 2.83. I've seen. The team is tightly knit. Okay, the team is tightly knit. That means they are having high interaction. They are highly cohesive. So high cohesive team, you can see team high cohesive is 2.19. So high cohesive means 2.19, but the processes are very much informal. No recording, no documentation, etc. So the process maturity is low, and for process maturity low is how much? 6.24, because no documentation, etc. So process maturity is low. So its value is for low, it is 6.24. So I have taken 6.24. So these are the scaling factors we have known. We have, from our knowledge, by looking at the table, we have find out the values for each of the scale factors. Now I have to find out the SF value. SF is what? Scaling factor value, by using this formula. What is the formula you will use? This formula. B is equal to 0.91 plus this. So this is the scaling factor. I have to now find out the value. So scaling factor will be equal to how much? 0.91 plus 0.01 into summation of the scale factor values. So what are the values I have just seen you? I have shown you 1.24, 5.07, 2.183, 2.19 and 6.24. So those values I can put there in the equation. Just they will be added up. And what is the value that will be multiplied with 0.1? The result will be added with 0.91. So coming to 1.087. Okay. Now, if the system contained 10 KLOC, suppose the system size is estimated to be 10 KLOC, then how much effort will require? So I can go to the formula. So formula says what? 10 into size to the power SF. Sorry, the A into size to the power SF. What is the value of A here? 2.94. What is the value of size in KLOC? 10 to the power scaling factor. What is the value of scaling factor here? 1.057. So use the values, you will get the person months. This is how you can use these this is how you can use the early design model. But one person is missing. What person is missing? Effort multipliers. I should also take into, so whatever the value 30.8, just like in intermediate COCOMO, we have to also find out the effort multipliers, and that will be also multiplied with 35.8. Then you can get the adjusted value. Using this exponentiation, that means which one? Exponentiation, which one? The scaling factor. Scaling factor is for what? Exponentiation. This 1.0857. This is the exponential part. So using the exponential part or using the to the power of part, this adds what? Disproportionately more to the estimates for larger application. This is the drawback of what COCOMO, that due to this exponentiation portion, it adds disproportionately more to the estimates for larger applications. When you are taking for smaller applications, okay, but for larger applications, by using this exponentiation, it will add disproportionately more to the estimates for the larger applications. Okay. So now, as I have already told you, this is not complete because only we have taken the constant A and size, but there are several environment multipliers are there or effort multipliers are there. We have to take their impact just like we have done in intermediate COCOMO. Find out their values, multiply, and whatever the multiplication value there, that has to be multiplied with this effort so that you will get the adjusted value. Let's see what are the effort multipliers or environment multipliers for COCOMO 2 in this early design model. So we'll see first this environment or the effort multipliers. In addition to the scale factors, the effort multipliers are also assessed. So in early design model, the following 7 effort multipliers are used, like RCPX, which stands for product reliability and complexity. RU stands for reuse required, PDIF is platform difficulty, PRS personality capability, PREX personal experience, FCIL facilities available, SCED schedule pressure. So these are the effort multipliers. This I have already shown in one of my equation. Environmental multipliers. What are the environment? Product, platform, people, project. Major 4 categories, and if you go one by one, under everyone either 1 or 2 are there, so that the total number is 7. These are the 7. See, this is related to product, this is related to reuse, platform, personnel, facility, and your schedule. So they all come under, they are grouped under these 4 major categories that I have shown you here. These are the 4 environment. These are the 4 environment factors. So these are known as the environment multipliers or effort multipliers. You will use 7 effort multipliers or environment multipliers in this early design model. So here you can see that they are rated in a they are rated in a 7-point scale, like from extra low to extra high. These are the effort multipliers. The values are, remember the table, but at least the nominal values please remember. Nominal value is 1, 1, 1, 1. That also we have seen in the intermediate COCOMO case. So for every effort multiplier, the nominal value is 1. If nothing is mentioned in the question, you assume that the effort multipliers, their values are 1. They are nominal, so their values are 1. Okay. Let's quickly take a small example. A new project has to be developed. Okay. A new project to be developed is similar in most characteristics to those that an organization has been dealing for some time in the past, except the followings. What are the exceptions? The software to be produced is exceptionally complex. It is very much complex, and it will be used in a safety critical system, just like as a software for an aeroplane or a software for a banking system, which are safety critical systems. Okay, so obviously they will be very complex. The software will interface with a new operating system that is currently in beta status. Okay, I hope you have known about beta products, etc. The software will interface with a what? With a new operating system, which is currently in beta status. To deal with this team, to deal with this, the team allocated to the job is regarded as exponentially good, exceptionally good. Of course, because it is a very safety critical system. A very complex system, again it has to interface with a new operating system, very challenging job. So a good team has been given to deal with this. The team allocated to the job is considered as, is regarded as a exceptionally good team, but they don't have a lot of experience on this type of software. Previously, the firm has not developed similar kinds of software, so their experience on this type of software is less. So with this, let us identify how much score will give to the 7 effort multipliers. You can see that RCPX, what is RCPX? RCPX is product reliability and complexity. I already told you this is a safety critical system. It should be highly reliable. If it is highly reliable, very high. So very high, what is the value for very high? RCPX very high is 1.91. So give 1.91. PDIF, what is PDIF? PDIF stands for platform difficulty. You have to interface with a new platform, new interface. So platform difficulty is also very high. PRS, what is PRS? PRS stands for personnel capability. What is the capability? Already told in the problem. Their capability is exceptionally good. So PERS is extra high. Exceptionally good means extra high. Extra high value is how much? 0.50. And all of it's given that what Prex is nominal. What is Prex? Prex is personal experience. As it's already given here, they are having very less experience. They do, sorry, not less. They don't have a lot. They don't have a lot of experience. So we can say that they are just normal, nominal. So Prex is nominal, 1.0. All other three factors, there are 7. You can see 7 effort multipliers. For 4, we have given the values. It is assumed that all other factors are nominal. That means 1.0. And it is given you that the initial estimate is 35.8. Suppose the initial estimate is given as 35.8. Here is given. Isn't it? I have already told you the initial, we have already computed. The initial estimate is 35.8. Why it is not completed? Because the effort multipliers, their effect is not taken into account. So now we will take into account the effect of the effort multipliers. This value, how we will get? We have to find out the EAF, the effort multiplier, this factor, EAF, effort adjustment factor. So 1.91 into 1.81 into 0.5 into 1. Whatever the result, that will be multiplied with 35.8. So what is the value? The revised value or the adjusted value is coming to be 61.9% months. So for developing this project, you have to, the effort will be required 61.9% months. Okay, so in this way, now this is the revised effort or the adjusted effort. So the refined effort is 61.9% months. In this way, you can compute this effort using the early design model of COCOMO 2. So once you have found out the report, straightforward formula is there for the schedule. You can also, if you know the salary per person month, you can also find out the cost for this problem by multiplying the cost with this effort in terms of person month. You will get the total cost that will be, that may be required, the estimated cost you may get for this problem by multiplying this effort, this refined effort with the what cost per month, that is, if that is given, accordingly you can find out the estimated cost for this project. So this is regarding the early design model. 2 more models left. Let's quickly finish. The next model is the reuse model. This reuse model can be used for estimating the effort. It will try to reuse some of the cost from the previous models. How? The cost from the previous projects, they will try to reuse the cost for the overhead for assessing, selecting and assimilating the different components. They may also consider the small modifications. Okay, the small modifications, they generate disproportional for large costs. So this may be okay for small projects. The small modifications, if there are some minor modifications, the small modifications may generate a disproportional large costs for larger projects. The reuse model takes into account the following: the black box code that is reused without change. So black box code means whatever as if they are the code, just reuse. We are not making any change. So this is the black box code. So reuse model takes into account the black box code that is reused without change. It also takes into account the code that has to be adapted to integrate with new code. So what code you have to adapt it to integrate with new code, and you may have to make minor changes. So the reuse model takes into account the black box code, which is reused without change, and the code that has to be adapted. Okay, and the code that has to be adapted to integrate it with the new code. Let's quickly see. In reuse model, there are 2 versions. One is black box, another is white box. Black box case we have just discussed. In black box version, or in black box reuse, or the black box reuse is a case where the code is not modified at all, the code is not changed, and effort estimate is accordingly computed. But in white box reuse, in this case, the code is modified. There is some I have already told you. So you might require the code has to be adapted. So here I have already told you this reuse model takes into account two things: the black box code that is reused without change, and in another case the code that has to be adapted to integrate with the new code. So same thing might happen here. In black box, the code is not required to modify directly. We can reuse that code, but in white box, we may have to modify the code in order to be interfaced into some other code, into some other new code. So white box reuse where the code is modified. A size estimate is equivalent to the number of lines of new source code is computed. So here, if it is a white box code, then how you can compute the size? A size estimate here it is equivalent to the number of lines of the new source code that is computed. But if you are reusing, you may not require that thing because already you have taken into account for your previous projects. So the existing code, they will not be taken into account. So for computing the or for estimating size, you have to take only the LOC in the new code. A size estimate will be equivalent to the number of lines of the new source code. Okay, that is computed. A size estimate equivalent to the number of lines of new source code is computed. This then adjusts the size estimate for the new code. So first you have to compute the size estimate for the new code. A size estimate equivalent to the number of lines of the new source code is estimated. This then adjusts or this then refines the size estimate for the new code. Let's quickly see. There are two things you can see reuse model estimates. One is for the generated code or just reused code. The code that you have reused. Another is the code when the code has to be understood and integrated. See here for generated or reused code, we do not want to understand. Simply we have reused this thing. Another case, we have to first understand the code. Then we have to we may little bit have to change and integrate with the new code. How the effort can be calculated in both the cases. You have known there are two cases, black box reuse and white box reuse. Black box reuse just directly reuse without any understanding. In white box reuse, you have to understand the code. You may have to integrate with some new code. So you have to understand the existing code. Then you can integrate. You may have to do some minor modifications. So let's see how the effort can be computed in both the cases. So the first case for the generated or for the reused code, how you can compute the effort. So here effort is computed as in terms of person month, which is equal to A SLOC into 80 by 100 divided by 80 PROD, where ACLOC is the number of lines of the generated code or the reused code. 80 is the percentage of code which are automatically generated, and ATPROD is the productivity of the engineers in integrating this code. So these are what reused code. For the generated or the reused code, this is the formula you can use. When the code has to be understood and integrated. So here we do not require to understand anything else. Just kind of black box kind of thing can directly reuse. We can directly reuse. But when the code has to be understood and integrated, then the equation changes a little bit. ESLOC is equal to ASLOC into 1 minus 80 by 100 star AM, where ASLOC and 80 they are same as for the first case. What is AM? So AM is the adoption adjustment multiplier. AM stands for adoption adjustment multiplier, which can be computed from the cost of changing the reused code, the cost of understanding how to integrate the code, and the cost of reuse decision making. So from this cost you can easily compute the AAM. So in this way you can find out this ESLOC. Okay. So the effort required, you can find out. I think E stands for the effort required. So in that way you can find out. Okay. So, okay, in this way you can estimate the effort in this reuse case. So in the reuse cases you can estimate the reports in the using the given equations. So the last model will take 5 minutes more. The post architecture model, as its name suggests, this model can be used after the design is ready and more information are available. So this model uses the same formula as the early design model. So for the early design model, I have already given the formula somewhere else. Please see. What is the early design model? These are the formula for effort and schedule for the early design model. So this post architecture model uses the same formula as it is there in this early design model. The difference is that it uses 17 multipliers than 7 multipliers. In early design model, you have seen they have used 7 multipliers, isn't it? These are the 7 multipliers. RCPX, RUs, PDF, PORS, PREX, FCIL, schedule. But in a post architecture model, they use 17 multipliers. That is the difference. The code size is estimated as follows. The number of lines of the new code to be developed has first they have to be computed. Then estimate the equivalent number of lines of new code. Okay. Estimate of equivalent number of lines of new code computed using this reuse model. Okay. So first is the number of lines of new code to be developed, that has to be estimated. Then estimate of equivalent of lines of new code computed using the reuse model. So using the reuse model, so reuse model it is already discussed. So then estimate of equivalent number of lines of new code computed using the reuse model, that has to be estimated. Finally, an estimate of the number of lines of code that have to be modified according to the requirements changes. So if because now this design is ready, the architecture is ready. If after that the user changes the requirements, then you have to put more effort. How much effort will require? How much lines of code will be extra added or things like that? That have to be estimated. So an estimate of the number of lines of code that have to be modified according to the requirements change. Due to the change in requirements, how many lines of code they need to be changed because the design is already over. How many numbers of lines of code they have to be modified or changed according to the what modifications in the requirements or according to the changes in the requirements, that have to be estimated. So in post architecture model, the code size is estimated as follows by using these 3 items. Okay. So we'll just take a final example. A project with all nominal cost drivers and scale drivers would have an EAF, the effort adjustment factor of 1, and exponent E of this. So directly the effort adjustment factors are given. So not given, we have actually 17 multipliers are required, all have given 1. So as a result, the effort adjustment factor will be 1. The exponent value is directly given 1.0997. Now, assuming that the project is projected to consist of 8,000 source lines of code, then COCOMO will estimate, what will the estimate for the effort using COCOMO 2? It will be 28.9% months. How? So effort is equal to how much formula? A into multipliers into size to the power SF scaling factor. What is the value of A? 2.94. What is the value of scaling factors? Sorry, the effort multipliers already given, all are nominal. So it will be 1 into 1 into 1, 17 times you will get 1. What is the size? Already given 8,000 source lines, means 8 kilo to the power SF scaling factor or the exponent. The exponent value is also given 1.0997. If you will multiply all those things, so first compute 8 to the power 1.0997, then multiply with 1, then multiply 2.94, you will get 28.9% months. So in order to develop this project, the required effort will be the required estimated effort will be 28.9% months. So in this is what another example we have seen for this COCOMO 2 model. Okay, so today we have discussed 4 types of COCOMO models: application point, then reuse, early design model, reuse model, and post architecture model. So today we have discussed the fundamentals of COCOMO 2, why there is a need of COCOMO 2, the drawbacks of COCOMO 81, then what is the necessity of developing COCOMO 2. We have also explained the 4 submodels of COCOMO 2, like application composition model, early design model, reuse model, and post architecture model. We have also presented how to compute the COCOMO 2 scale factors and the different effort multipliers. We have also solved some examples on estimating the effort and cost using COCOMO 2 model. So this is all about COCOMO 2. More other things or advanced things you can see from other books or research papers. Basically, these are research things, may not find from the book. I think this is sufficient for a master's student. Okay. Again, we have taken from these 2 books and from some other related papers available in the net. We have prepared the document accordingly. Thank you very much. So, any doubt, please? Yes, any doubt, please? Okay, if there are no more doubts, then we have to take the attendance.